Hola, it is me, DC the Purple Diva, and welcome to Not So Random Chat, end of 2019 edition. Happy New Year to all, where it is already New Year, but here in the West, it's not your New Year's yet. Happy New Year, Miss Mahogany. I know it's New Year's in the East. My daddy has already texted me Happy New Year's. I hope all is well. I hope you guys liked me with the goodbye 2019, because that's where we are. It's bye to 2019. And I'm actually putting together a little compilation video for you guys that will be out tomorrow. That will be a 2019 in review of me. So hopefully you guys will like it. And it'll be mostly like pictures and stuff. And then, but it will also include YouTube stuff in it, like when I was making my milestones in YouTube. But it's going to go month by month through the whole year, from January of last year, of this year, actually, for me still, until December. So I hope you guys like it when you get it. Tomorrow, I'm going to probably premiere it in the morning because I'm going to finish editing it after my live. But y'all know, because I didn't come on last night because I really didn't have a voice. I was kind of called squeaky. And even though my voice has come back some, I could not come on. I mean, it's the last day of this decade. How could I not come on? You know? And boy, what a decade this has been. At the beginning of this decade, I had two parents living. By the end of this decade, I'm left with one parent living. So it was, I would say, I wouldn't even say this year, but this decade has been rough. You know, it's been rough. I've lost some things during this decade, but I've also gained some things during this decade, you know. I mean, gotten rid of some baggage. Gotten rid of some baggage this year too. You know, and I am this close to finishing the editing of my book so that it can go off to the real editor, not myself. So I will be published next year. I have started a YouTube channel during this decade while also ending my radio career, so to speak, because I haven't done radio in like 5 years. So it's been a lot of stuff that's happened in this decade. But I can't wait for I can't wait for 2020. I can't wait because I think there's going to be some real good stuff happening for all of us in this new year. Because I definitely have goals for myself this year. I don't do New Year's resolutions, guys. You know, resolutions are not, that's what people do when they just want to feel good about, you know, making a promise to themselves at the beginning of the year. But I set goals for myself. And I'm trying to set goals for myself during this year of things that will help me become a better me. You know? Exactly. I'm planning on, you know, growing my platform, growing my network on YouTube. I'm planning on doing collaborations with people this year. I'm planning on expanding my knowledge within the autism world and expanding my footprint, my size 10 footprint in this space that I am in on YouTube, with my positive vibes, with my, just coming from, I'm going to say, from a more mature perspective about a lot of things, in life. Because I'm not really talking about, whatever happened on YouTube in 2019 didn't have nothing to do with DC, except for the positive stuff. Like, I've met a lot of positive, cool people on this platform. And some of them are content creators, and some of them are subscribers and supporters who are just like the bomb. But some of those subscribers and supporters, hint, hint, should probably have their own YouTube channel. I don't know, who could I possibly be talking about, Mahogany? Who could I be talking about? But I know that you are going to take those leaps and come out in baby steps, because I know you got a lot. You got a lot. You got a lot in you, girl. I'm just going to say it. And I know that Jovi has been saying stuff to you too. Now I get to jump in on that with you, girl. Come on. I will be your biggest supporter. You know that. Hey, Miss Chantel, Happy New Year. It is almost there here in the West. And, I said I'm coming on for a little while because y'all know these crazy folk out here in the West, they shoot in the New Year. So I'm hearing fireworks going off, but I'm hearing other stuff crack-a-lacking too. So that's why we're inside and we're safe. And we're being blessed. Because I thought about going to my church's watch night service tonight, guys. And I still have time to go if I want to go. But I don't think that I'm going to go, even though I'm extremely close to where my church is, just because there are fools on the road. Yeah. Oh, happy birthday, Mr. Fulton. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Hey, T-Talks. Happy New Year. Yeah, so instead of going to my church watch service, I'm going to stay home. I'm going to talk to you guys for a little while. And then I am going to watch movies. Because, the ball has already dropped in Times Square. And that's the only one everybody wants to watch. That's, they are going to be doing something here. Like in Los Angeles, they do a big thing in LA now. They're trying to make it into a big thing, so that they have their own thing, I guess, 20 years from now. But now they cover like a 7-block radius, and they have concerts and everything. I mean, it's a really cool thing. I'm just not going to downtown LA because it's cold outside, and it's not as cold as it is in other parts of the country, but it's in the 40s, so it's cold outside in LA. I know, the guns and the fireworks. I'm telling you, these folks on the West Side, they on it. And I'm going to let them be on it. And I'm going to be in the house safe. I'm going to be in the house safe. Because I find that that's the best thing to do. And I mean, I've been in California for a long time. And when I first came out here, they weren't doing this shooting, in the new year in other parts of the country, but apparently it caught on. So everybody's doing it now. So I can't even say that it's a California thing because it's not a California thing anymore. They do it everywhere. It's like migrated across the country. Migrated its way across the country like that gangster rap did. You know what I mean? So, yeah, the shooting in the new year. I don't think it's cool. It's one of the reasons why we're staying inside, being safe. Well, you know, Los Angeles is supposed to be the city of the angels, but there's so many there's so many spirits over the city that are not of God. Then I agree with that, T-Talks. I agree with that. Yep. Definitely Devil's Playground out here in Cali. You know, but for people, you know, who have a relationship with the higher power, you know, we're just on some different stuff. You know, I mean, I know a lot of people going out, they're going to get drunk, you know, they're going to, you know, bring in the new year that way. Maybe I'm just old or old fashioned, you know, because when I was young, yeah, you know, you look at the memes, they show like when you're teenagers and in your 20s, you go hard bringing in the new year. But when you get up in age, like myself, if you're not in somebody's church bringing in the new year, you're at home more than likely, because you don't need to go pay $25 or $50 or whatever it is to get into some club just to be hanging out, you know. But I'm just not in that age range anymore. But I did it. I had fun too. Hey, T Million, Happy New Year. I had fun. I have to admit, I had fun back in the day. You know, I mean, let me just tell y'all, at one point, because I used to be a avid roller skater, I would be at the skating rink on New Year's because they would have New Year's Eve skating things. I'm sure they're having one tonight, as a matter of fact. But I'm sitting my behind at home because if memory serves me correct, yeah, this is not the night for people my age. I think they have, this is like the 18 and over. Yeah, so they'll definitely have some younger folk at the skating rink tonight. But shouts out to the late Nipsey Hussle, because if y'all didn't know, one of the things he did before he left this earth was he brought back the black skating rink in Los Angeles, World on Wheels, and made it black owned for real. Him and some other celebrities, along with some black people who had a little bit of money, were able to buy that entire complex out. So even in death, his estate is getting money from World on Wheels. That's part of his legacy. Oh wow. I'm sorry to hear that. My prayers and condolences, Miss Mahogany. My prayers and my condolences. Yeah, I'm thinking about the people that I've lost this year too. Like I lost a really good friend who was like a baby sister to me. She was just 41 years old and died in her sleep. And the ironic thing is that several years before that, she had been told she had a brain tumor and that she was going to die, and then it went away. And then she went to college and everything, and then this happened. And she had a an infection, like a toothache or something, and had taken some ibuprofen for it. And they're saying that it was the ibuprofen, or it was too much medicine. Hey, Darren. Oh, I'm sorry to hear about that. Happy New Year. Yeah, it was, you know, I lost a few good friends this year, you know. One friend who, she was an author. She was like years ahead of her time. She wrote a novel called Chocolate Star back in the, like, I would say the early 90s. And she lived to be over 60, which was a feat because she had sickle cell anemia. So that's what eventually took her out of here in her this year. But she, you know, they didn't think she was going to live past her teens. And she lived to be over 60 years old. Yeah, her name was Sheila Copeland. If you guys check it out, go look on Amazon. There's a book called Chocolate Star. She wrote that book a long time ago. And when you read that book, if you read that book, it will be very reminiscent of like some of the basketball and love and hip hop basketball wives and stuff. And she wrote this as a novel years ago, before any of this stuff, you know, that we're seeing in reality TV and everything. And she wrote characters that are very similar to these real people nowadays, just based on her experiences being around people in the industry. Oh my God. Oh my goodness, T Talks. I'm so sorry. Yeah, I did. We all saw that. We all saw that on the news. And it's been, and some of the YouTubers have been talking about it, because I saw it on Mob Radio earlier today as well. I know. God, why was he? I don't even know, you know. And they've got so many conflicting stories coming out in regards to that. So I really hope that they come out with the truth, because they're coming out with crazy stories other than what the initial story was in regards to that. So I'm going to be praying for your family. Oh my goodness, T Talks. I'm so sorry. But I mean, you know, and I know that your nephew has to feel horrible too. But I'm like, Lord, we don't play with people. Please, we don't play with guns. Guns are not for play. We never play with guns. Ever. You know? Always consider that a gun is loaded. Never assume that it's not, unless you have opened up the gun and looked in every one of the chambers to make sure there actually are no bullets in the gun. Do not play with guns. Guns are not toys. I'm just so heartbroken over that. That's why I'm saying, T-Talks, that's what I'm saying. I'm praying that, you know, that they keep to the truth, because I heard crazy stuff today. I heard the original story that it was an accident, you know, and then they're saying other kinds of crazy stuff. So I'm like, you know, and that's your family. So I'm really praying that they just come out with the truth, because we don't need no craziness. Wow. So he refused bail? Wow. I mean, it's an accident. So that would be, I guess they consider that manslaughter. Wow. Yeah, that's horrible. See, that's why when people are talking about that story here on YouTube, they don't know. You don't know who's listening. I know that's what they said. That was his girlfriend. And I hate the fact that they bring out all of his previous stuff into the situation to kind of try to steer the public. Because that doesn't have anything to do with this particular incident. We just need to focus on what happened in this incident and not bring anything in his past into this particular incident. Wow. Yeah, see, and Mahogany, that's another reason why I get so upset about people talking about when they're doing when they're having beefs and stuff on here on YouTube, and they will call people on the spectrum that may not be on the spectrum, may or may not be on the spectrum. And I hate when they use autism like it's something bad. It's not something bad. It's just different. It's just different. That's all. Wow. So you were trying to get him to move? Wow. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't want them to bring his past into this. Sorry, guys. Because I want him to get a fair hearing. And and the media can be so cruel. He has the right to a fair trial and not to be tried in the court of public opinion, because we weren't there and we don't know what happened. Mahogany, I heard about that case. Mahogany, I heard about that case. I didn't know that was your nephew. I heard about that case. Because y'all know, anytime they say somebody involved in something is on the spectrum, I'm always looking, because I'm always wondering if they're really on the spectrum. But I remember that one because that got into, that did get some press because of the fact that he had autism. Wow, T-Talk. Wow. You guys were trying to help him. I know. And I hate that they do that, but any other time, because our kids, let me just tell you something. Our kids, if our kids feel like another kid is coming at them, it doesn't matter where they fall on the spectrum. Kids with autism, especially, a lot of them can get get very aggressive, because my son is not the type that's going to let somebody come at him. Plus the fact that he's pretty tall, he can be intimidating himself. You know, but that's one of the things I've always feared is the bullying, because they're not going to tell you. They're not going to tell you. They're not going to tell you. They're just going to deal with it themselves. I know T talks, because you know, I'm like, this is y'all are dealing with this right now. Your family is dealing with this right now. I am so sorry. I'm going to keep your family in my prayers. I know that's what they were saying, that he didn't know that the gun was loaded. Hey, Jack. You know how people are. You know how they do. People watch from the clouds. But hit that like or dislike regardless if you're watching. Happy New Year's to you cloud watchers. This is a safe zone for you cloud watchers. We don't do drama in here, so everyone can come in here. As long as we act like adults in here, we all can get along. We don't do disrespect in my chat. FYI. Exactly, Jack. Exactly. You know? And that policy is going into 2020. This is not a drama-filled chat. I don't do sub for sub in my chat. If you want to meet somebody in my chat, I have no problem with that. But introduce yourself and get to know them. And if you want to support them, by all means do that. And let them know, you know, by leaving your heart. Please don't say you went by their house. Please don't do that. I'm putting this out there right in this one in case people are listening in the clouds, but if they come through and hear this chat later. That is against YouTube rules, people. So we all grow the right way around here. We all want new people to know about us. And so we also want people to respect the chat when you come in. No matter what age group you're in, because I am aware that some of my viewers are under the age of 21. You know, but that's fine. Because ironically, the younger people know how to act when they come in the chat. You know? And I have mods for all of you trolls who like to come around YouTube, especially the autism trolls. We want you. We love you. Come on through. We will act you out. And then you will be blocked from the chat forever. Trust and believe. You know? But if you want somebody, if you come in my chat and you're new to my chat, introduce yourself to people. And believe me, as you talk to people in the chat, people just go and check out to see if people have channels. They do that. Believe it or not, people just do that. It's the organic way to grow. Yeah. I do have some younger people. I mean, they're not like young. I mean, they're like, like college, like 17, 18, freshmen in college, that kind of age. But I've had a couple of high schoolers in here because they have friends who have autism. And they come into the chat so they can ask questions about it that they don't necessarily want to ask their friend. So they figure they'll ask a parent of someone who's younger, in their age range. I'm telling you, T-Talks, trolls don't understand. They give us life. They give us life. They give us watch hours. They do all of those things. YouTube doesn't even care if you smash that dislike. They're looking to see how many people actually watch the video. I know that, Miss Tatted Hearts. I know that, Miss Tatted Hearts, but Tatted Hearts always comes in here respectful. So that's what I was saying. That's exactly what I was saying. Is that the young people who come into my chat are always very respectful. So I've never had an issue. You know that, Tatted Heart. Tatted Hearts is okay. Miss Mahogany. That's the only, yeah, because I know them. I know, I'm sorry. I keep forgetting. I know. You are a dude. Tatted Hearts is okay. Just don't come in. Yeah, just don't put your age in, okay? Yeah, we can't put numbers in. You can't put numbers in the chat. You can't put like personal stuff. Okay. Like, if I say how old I am, because it's my thing, I'm the only one. I can do that, but nobody else should be doing that in there. That's protecting you. Okay, Miss. Okay, Tatted Heart. Hey, Uppity. Happy New Year. I know you are, T-Talks. But there's people of all ages on YouTube. My point being is that the people who are in the younger age range, for the most part, are not the people who have been misbehaving on the YouTube platform. It's not younger people. The people who have been misbehaving on the YouTube platform have been people who are very grown up. So that's why I don't have a problem with people who are younger. But people know that, for privacy, don't put your age in the chat. Well, you know what I meant, Tatted Heart. Like, notice how I never really say, you guys know I'm in California, I'm in Southern California, but you don't know really where I am. That kind of stuff. Got it? There you go. You just want to protect your anonymity, if I can say that correctly. You know what, Jack? I am going to pop you AARP card. Well, I know I get AARP. They find me all the time as well. So I'm very comfortable saying I'm in the AARP range. That still doesn't tell anybody really how old I am. But people who know me offline know that information because they actually, know me. But we have to protect people's privacy on YT. And, this coming year, I think is going to be a very interesting year. I think that January is going to be a very interesting month for a lot of people. Because, people who are trying to change, they're going to start doing their changing, so to speak, during the month of January. So we'll see how that goes. But I want to stay on the stuff that I'm on. I'm probably going to expand from where I am, go even further into things that I'm going into. And because if you guys haven't figured it out, I am pretty much of a nerdy girl. I do like a lot of this history behind things that are going on in present day, especially things that are going on in parts of the world that my ancestors came from. Yeah. And how things in that part of the world are impacting the people of color in that part of the world. So I'm going to probably doing a lot of stuff, collaboration with my brother, Nakuma Toure, over the first couple of months of the year to get some of that out, and then, but there are other things that I want to talk about. Like I'm going to talk about things like prayer meditation, because I'm a spiritual person, I know people can be into different things, and I respect people's different beliefs. I just always ask that people, respect mine. I don't try to force God on anybody, but I do tell people about, I think prayer is a good thing, regardless of whether you are of some type of, one of the denominational faiths, or if you just are a spiritual person. Because I think that those things are very, very healthy. No worries, T-Talk. It's all good. But it's going to be, I think, interesting seeing the different things that I can do on the channel. And when I go out and read and see other people, things that people are talking about on their channel, sometimes I may reach out to some of y'all and get y'all to come up on the platform for different types of panels on different topics. Like I'm going to also be talking about things like, the mental health of Black women, and the things that a lot of us go through, and talking just from my own personal experience, because I am an older woman, so to speak, and just to talk about things that I've gone through and how, people always wonder why I look so young. Yes, I do have good genes, but I think also that, I've been through a whole lot of stuff in my life, but I have tried to not let life live me. And there go the fireworks, guys. I've tried to not let life live me, but I've just tried to live life so that, what I've gone through doesn't show when you look at me. Cool, T-Talk. I'm going to keep that in mind. I'm going to keep that in mind. I'm definitely going to keep that in mind. I'm going to take a look at your channel after the thing, but I just showed you a little love, T-Talks. Oh, I am definitely, well, I have gumbo, but I am definitely going to be doing, I do greens. Yeah. I don't do black eyed peas because I don't eat black eyed peas. So we do greens up in this place. And we do, and sometimes I'll do cabbage though. So I might do cabbage. Sometimes I'll mix my greens and my cabbage together and do both. Yeah. But yeah, gotta have something for the first day, you know, for the wealth, for the finances. Yep. Because it's like, you know, I know a lot of people do a lot of different, they have like all these different traditional things that they have. And I know a lot of people do the black eyed peas. But I've never liked black eyed peas, y'all. You know, and then I try to think about, I guess because I didn't like them. I don't even remember when my mom cooked them when I was growing up. I know she cooked them. I know she did. But I didn't like them. They were like lima beans to me. I could take them or leave them. Exactly. You know, because you know what, T-Talks, like when I talk about the spirituality, you know, I know a lot of people of color get kind of, they don't want to really talk about it because they don't really want to deal with Christianity and everything. And I get that, you know, because, you know, a lot of the churches aren't teaching the truth. So, you know, they don't tell them, you know, how everybody in the entire Old Testament were people of color. They all were. All of them. Including the Hebrews. You know? And yeah, the Hebrews were enslaved in Egypt, but it was people of color enslaving people of color. How else could Moses have possibly been passed off as the Pharaoh's sister's son? But I digress. So, you know, I talk a lot about, you know, what the real is, you know, versus, you know, this blonde hair, blue-eyed man that doesn't represent anything that I know. So, and then having grown up in the Roman Catholic Church, I kind of have a interesting perspective because most people that grow up in the Roman Catholic Church, if they leave, some of us we generally will end up in a church that's either non-denominational or we just stop going to church. You know, they just like, after that, they're over it. I still wanted to have a relationship with God, so I still was seeking him. And I'm comfortable in the church that I'm in because I have a pastor who will teach the stuff that other people don't teach about the Bible and about the history of the Bible. She's into that stuff. We even have a Bible college at my church. So I like that kind of stuff. I know that Jesus was a white man, which is one of the reasons why I've myself and Nakori Toure, we've been on here talking about the Khazarian Jews, who are the people that are in the state of Israel at this time, just so people understand that they are not the biblical Hebrews, and that their people converted to Judaism after the death of Christ. They had a choice: Islam, Christianity, or Judaism. And that's what they did. And in doing that, they adopted and basically took the biblical history, the Torah, and made that their history. But that was not their history. They are not the descendants of Abraham. Abraham was not white. Abraham was an African. So, it is what it is. People, there are a lot of people who know. And the thing is that many people, the people who are comfortable with their relationship and knowing who the real Jesus was versus, this one that you learn, because you have to also remember that in the United States, they took the Bible and used the Bible to justify the enslavement of the black man. Okay? So they used it for what they wanted to use it for. And because of things that they did with it, that is the reason why so many have so many issues with the Bible. But if they go and they do their own due diligence and really search and get back to the Greek and to the Hebrew and the Aramaic, then they will start to see who he really was. Okay? Because he spoke Hebrew and he spoke Aramaic. And he lived in the region of Galilee. And when King Herod, who was a real person, because that's what they called it was the Herodian dynasty, went to kill him. He wasn't a little baby. He was, around the age of 2. They were able to flee off into Egypt and blend in. Wouldn't have blended in if he had blonde hair and blue eyes. I can promise you that part. So it's like you have to look at what you're reading, know the regions of the world, and know what the people look like in those regions. And knowing what the people looked like in those regions, that lets you know what he looked like, what Moses looked like. It's, like I say, exactly. It's just so many, bless his heart, Charlton Heston, but Moses did not look anything like him. And neither did Miriam look like whatever that lady was that played Miriam in the movie. These were people of color. But they know that. They know that. These people know that there is an agenda to whitewashing the Bible. There's an agenda to that. Don't fall for it. And that has nothing to do with being a Christian. That's just, don't fall for that mess, regardless of what you want to believe. Just know that what you were taught is not the truth. Yeah, it depends on what sector of them that you're in, T Talks. Yeah, because there's a sector that's that are off the chain, and they got a little teeny bit of knowledge, and then the rest of what they know is garbage. The only part that they got right, you know, is that the modern day tribes of Israel are people of color, and that a lot of us here in the Americas, and which means not just here in North America, because we all know that more of those boats went south of here into South America. You know, many of us are descendants, because we know that many of the people who were sold into slavery were, you know, of lineages, you know, royal lineages. And we know of how Africa was actually set up back then. It wasn't set up the way it looks today. You know, and it's been, I mean, people have been even further dissected on the continent because of the colonialism and the colonization of the continent. After they raped our ancestors from the continent, then they went over there and did even more damage to the people who were left there, who thought they were free. You know? And the crazy thing is that we all know that the original believers in Yeshua were from Africa and from the Middle East, because the Church of Antioch is like in the Middle East now, which is adjacent to Africa. So that would mean when we had the split in the church that was closer to what was the original believers is what is now known as the Greek Orthodox Church. Yeah. And then you had this other thing that went to Europe that was the Roman Catholic Church, from which Protestantism came from. Yeah, you know, that's what I'm saying. You know, some of the things, you know, so, you know, I know that most of the Hebrew Israelites that I have met are from that other part, and they're tripping. Yeah, they are. They're disrespectful to women. You know, they call any woman who's not part of them, you know, Jezebels and harlots, and just disrespectful. It's the same sect to be yelling on the streets of New York. Those brothers are on one. You know, those brothers are on one. But let me see. We're going to be on for like another 6 minutes here, because we're going to be on for an hour. We're not going to be on long tonight, because in about another hour here. It's going to be real loud. Yeah. So, yeah. And I don't even live in the hood. Okay? I don't even live in the hood. And they still do this stupid stuff. Shooting in the new year. They won't be able to do that stuff next year, though, y'all. Won't be able to do that stuff next year. Because they're going to be too close to where those Rams are going to be playing. And where the Chargers are going to be playing. And hopefully, next year, one of them gets to the playoffs. Please, pretty please, pretty please. LA is looking so sorry. Do we have any sports team in this town that can play? Because, I mean, LeBron, oh, happy birthday, LeBron. But anyway, you ain't playing. Clippers are trying. We'll see what happens. That's what I'm saying. The ones that be doing that mess, T-Talk, I already know. I'm like, I don't know what Bible you're reading, dude. But I have seen some who don't, don't come off like that. They're usually very, very respectful, but I let them do their thing. But the crazy ones, they just on one, and they won't even listen to anyone else because they think they so. I'm like, dude, you talking like the Jehovah's Witnesses talk. Do you not understand that? They got you programmed to say this certain stuff, and you're not thinking with your own brain. But they not understanding that that's what I'm saying. They not understanding that. Just look and make sure I'm keeping up with the chat. I'm keeping up with the chat. I am keeping up with the chat, y'all. I'm so glad you guys came out tonight. I'm glad I had a voice tonight too, But I am definitely going to be putting that video up for y'all tomorrow. It's going to take y'all from the beginning of my year of 2019 all the way up to the end of my year of 2019. And keep in mind that although I had a YouTube channel at the beginning of the year, I wasn't doing anything on YouTube. I don't think I was doing anything on YouTube until July is when I started uploading videos. So you'll start to see stuff that you may have seen on YouTube, from that point on in the video. But before that, it'll be things that probably have never been on my YouTube channel because it's going to be just like pictures of me or pictures of me and my son from the beginning of the year to the end of the year. So I hope you guys like it. It will be out for you guys in the mañana for me because I still have 1 hour and 15 minutes until it is officially 2020 here in the West. And for those of you who are also in the West, on the West Coast, because, there's more than one state on the West Coast. You got California, you got Oregon, and you got Washington. For those of you who are in the Seattle area, y'all got a little bit of time too. I know, that's what I'm talking about, T-Talks. That's exactly what I'm saying. It doesn't even matter, if we call ourselves a Christian or we call ourselves a Muslim or we call ourselves a Hebrew Israelite, all of us are Hebrew Israelite. We're all from those tribes. And that's what it just puzzles me as to. The whole world knows that the people that are in the state of Israel, other than the tribe of Dan coming from Ethiopia, who are pretty much treated like second-class citizens because they are people of color, other than them, that those people, I don't even see how they say that they can tell which tribes they're from. Because how can you tell what tribes you're from when I'm not going to even go there. You know, I mean, Joseph, Benjamin, Judah, you know, let me just stop. The Levites, all of these people were people of color because we know where Abraham came from. And the people who were in those regions, the Canaanites, Israel was in the land of Canaan. You know? So it gets so exhausting, you know? It gets exhausting because there's so many people who are just woke, who are not woke. They're sleeping. They think they woke, but they're not woke, you know? And then you have the other ones who are just, you know, happy to go along with the status quo and stay asleep. You know, but people need to know who they are. They need to know who they are. And that's part of the problem. See, let me hip y'all to something. Even though they may seem a little confused, the people on the continent know who they are. But they see that we clearly don't know who we are. They do. And I'm not just talking about those of us in the United States. I would say that about us in Canada, that about us in the Caribbean, that about us in Central America, that about us in South America, because we are all part of the diaspora. That's what I'm saying, because they, you know, they can trace themselves back to some people, the Ashelites or whatever, I forget. They have there's some particular part of the Khazarian Jews that are all this particular part that begins with an A. I can't remember what it is, but it's not one of the 12 tribes. I can tell you that part. But that just means that they all come from this specific part of, you know, Eastern Europe. Yeah. Okay. That's what it means. That's how far they can trace themselves back. If any of them could ever trace themselves all the way back to the continent of Africa, can't do it. Because it's not possible. They can't do that. They can only trace themselves back to Eastern Europe. Because remember, the Khazarians came from a place that was north of Turkey, kind of like in the Ottoman Empire kind of region, but it was east of Eastern Europe and Russia. Okay. And then they went west to those places when they basically fled their homeland and basically left behind their their past. They just left it behind, forgotten, and took on Judaism. But the thing that they brought from their past was their usury, being usurers. That's why a lot of them were the ones who dealt with the money. That was something that came from where they had what they did, where they were in the first place. So exactly. I know, but we can't get to that point. I mean, and the infighting and the backbiting, it's just it's not pretty. That's why, I am a person of color. I am Black, but I don't put myself in any specific part of YouTube. I'm just in Black YouTube because I'm Black, and I can only present from that perspective because that's where I am. But my videos are not, strictly geared to us. They just are from my perspective as me. Which is probably why, I'm good, because I want to reach everybody. Yeah, I want to reach us. I really want to reach us. But in the process of reaching us, I want to reach everybody else too. Everybody needs to know it. Everybody needs to know the information, and get past the great deception. I call it the great deception. A stolen history. A stolen history. A stolen history. That's all I'm saying. It's a stolen history. Because, think about it. Just think about it. Notice how you don't really know much about what happened, about histories, long histories of the countries in Africa, because most of what was there has been destroyed. Their history, a lot of the things that told their history is gone. So there's, so they don't even, it's like the gap is there all the way around, because when they came, when the Europeans came in there and took some of us and brought us over here to be their work mules, then they went and decided to see what they could rape from the land there, using the people over there. Yeah. So it was pretty nasty. It's a pretty nasty situation, even on the continent. I mean, they don't even have their own currencies. They're trying to get their own currencies, but they don't even have their own currencies. They have francs. They have euros. They have whatever the Dutch use. Whatever the Germans use. You see what I'm saying? The currencies are European currencies. The continent of Africa is basically the treasure chest for Europe and the United States. Exactly. Well, because They like you to think that they don't exist, Mahogany. They like you to think that they don't exist.
Mm.
I know. Yep. Tasmanian devil. I remember that the Tasmanian devil. I know. That's like, there's so much that I want to explore about Africa. And I guess this year, going into 2020, it's the thing. There's so many celebrities that are over on the continent right now. Yeah, they're over on the continent celebrating New Year. In Nigeria and in Ghana, in South Africa. One of these years, maybe I'll be on the continent and celebrating the new year coming in. That will be something. To celebrate a new year in a different part of the world. That will be so exciting. I'm going to have to put that on my bucket list of things to do. Yep. Well, they talk about them somewhat, T-Talk, but, you know, and I mean, my pastors even talked about the, you know, the giants, you know, I mean, and she's talked about the angels that, you know, had kids with humans, and therefore you had these people. So, but then again, you also talk about that a lot of these people were destroyed when the flood happened. God got rid of a lot of stuff, you know. You know, that's what I'm saying. You have to do your history. I don't tell people to not look at what they call the apocrypha books of the Bible. I tell people to look and read things, but I would say if you're looking at things like I think the Gospel of Thomas, the Book of Enoch, there's another one. I can't think of it, but it'll come to me. But anyway, there's, you know, specific ones. Just I'm saying, when you look at those, just be careful, because some things that are in them are the reasons why they made decisions on not bringing them into it. Not saying that everything in those books did not happen, but some of them may not have had relevance for however way they were trying to construct the Roman, you know, the Western church. So that's what I'm saying. Keep that stuff in mind. But also keep in mind that, if I'm not mistaken, they did get some buy-off from the Greek Orthodox Church. But I would be very interested to see what version of the Bible they use in the Greek Orthodox Church. I would be very interested to see what they use, because they were not part of the Council of Nicaea, if I'm not mistaken. They did not participate in that, because they had already split off when Constantine, you know, when Rome got into it, and when they wanted to make the capital of the church in Rome, they were gone. They'd been gone, because I believe they had, at that time, the Greek Orthodox had the capital where their church was, because they have what they call the archbishop of their church. They don't have a pope, but they have some other things that are similar, scarily, you know. So I want to see what they use, but just keep in mind that some things in there are not direct stories, and that's the reason why some of them were not put in there, because they weren't like people who actually witnessed things. Like, for the most part, is what you have in the New Testament, because most of that was written by people who were actually there. You know, but that's what I'm saying. Just look at all of the different things, because like for me, when I came out of Catholicism, I started looking at, you know, different versions of the Bible, because even Catholicism, they don't have the same Bible that the rest of the quote unquote Western Christian church has. They have additional books in that Bible that are not in the King James. They have the book of Sirach and the book of Lamentations that they include in the Old Testament. And then there's another one, and I can't think of the name of it, but there's another book. There's there's a few more books in the Catholic Bible, the Roman Catholic Bible, that are not in what Protestant Christians have too. So again, you know, that's what I'm saying. You know, you're not going to go to hell for reading those other books, despite the way they try to scare people into not reading those books. So I would say do your own research and make your own judgments about what you see in those other books. And definitely pray on it. Definitely pray on it. That's it. It's Maccabees. That's it, T-Talks. That's the other book. Maccabees 1 and 2. That's the one I couldn't think of. That's in the Catholic Bible. Yeah. Sirach, Lamentations, and Maccabees 1 and 2. I have a Hebrew Bible. I have a Hebrew Bible that's in Hebrew, and the Hebrew Bible starts from reverse of you know, how we open our books. It starts from what we think is what is the back is the front, and you open it and you read it from that way forward. But mine has it in Hebrew, and then it has the translation in English, but it's a Hebrew Bible. You know, so that's what I'm saying. It's like the church, so to speak, made a determination as to what they considered the most, I would guess, not to say the other books weren't important, but what they felt were the most important ones. And so they made the rest of those books apocrypha. Because there's some other books, stuff that's Old Testament as well, that's not accepted in the Hebrew Bible. Because that's why you've got, telling y'all, you've got stuff going on, like, you know, how with that Kabbalism stuff that's an offspring from, they say from Judaism, but it's really not. They just align themselves with Judaism, but that's a whole nother thing. Because that's sorcery. It's witchcraft. You know. But, you know, there's a lot of stuff that, you know, I want to talk about, and, you know, just get people's, you know, keep people's opinion, you know, get other people's views on it. Because, I mean, I think for everyone who has a relationship with the Most High, we all have a different experience, and we've all come through a different path, and we've all looked at different things, you know, in our research, and we're still learning. We're all still, you know, bringing new things into our, you know, our wisdom. Yeah, there's a book of wisdom too. Book of wisdom. Yep. There's a book of wisdom. Telling you, it's coming back to me. I mean, I have not been in the Roman Catholic Church, you know, in close to 30 years. So I've literally not. What do you mean? How much is the cost? You mean that book I got? Yeah, Jubilees. That's what I'm telling you. It's all of these different books. It's a bunch of books. It's not just New Testament books. It's books, Old Testament books that are not in the Old Testament, but are historical to the history of Israel. They just didn't put them in there. You learning Hebrew right now? Thank you. What did you want? What do you want one of? The book, the Hebrew book I have, my pastor gave that to me. I'll have to look and see who it's published by. I'll let you know. Yeah, the Hebrew Bible I got, my pastor gave that to me. Yeah, it's called The Lost Books. Yeah, my mom had that. My mom had like a book, and I may have it still. I don't know. Because I think I got rid of like a lot of stuff. But my mom had the one that was the Lost Books of the Bible. She had it. Because I know it had the Gospel according to Thomas. And it had a bunch of books in it. I don't think I still have it, but you can find it online. You can get it on Amazon. Trust me, it's on Amazon. Yeah, the Hebrew one. I'm gonna look and see who it was published by, because my pastor got it for me, and it's not a real big, it's not a big book. Yeah, I'm gonna look and see who it was published by. I'll let you know. Hey, AKA James, Happy New Year. Yeah, we're about to get off in a minute. Oh, so there's a free app called The Lost Books of the Bible? All right, I'll take a look at that. I'll take a look at it. Well, that wouldn't surprise me, because, you can get the Bible. All the Bible apps are free. And they have like a ton of different versions of the Bible in them. That's why the Bible is the best-selling book in the entire world forever. And now people can have it digitally on their phones. I was like, you can even. I said, I know people even have. I think they even have the Quran. Yeah, I've seen the Quran too. You can download that onto your phone too. So, yeah, there's pretty much no excuses. If you are a person of faith, you can download for free, your holy book of choice. Yeah, I've heard of all of those T-Talks. I have. I mean, because I've looked at a bunch of different, stuff and read different things. You know, it's just, I'm very aware of some of the deception in the Western Christian church. You know, I'm very aware of it. You know, so I understand why so many, you know, people of African descent in the Americas have a problem with it. You know, because of, you know, the role it placed, you know, the role it took in our history, you know, of slavery. I absolutely understand that. You know, and that's why I always encourage people, you need to really read what's in there versus what the heck they want you to think is in there. Because the Bible doesn't justify slavery the way they think it did. It talked about slavery for a specific purpose, you know, not the way that they did it, because people were generally enslaved when they were conquered. You know, when their people were conquered, they were enslaved by the nation that conquered them. They weren't sold into slavery and taken over to another country. You know, slavery was already going on, but it had to do with wars and the people of wars. And that was, you know, so, but it wasn't like that. Europeans are the one who took it and decided that only people of color should be in that role, because we were the majority in this world. We were the majority in this world. Child, you know, Mahogany, I'm gonna tell you, I always wondered, you know, like when I finally, when I was an adult, I was just like, why did my mom have us brought up Catholic? I didn't even understand why we were Catholic. No one else in our family was Catholic, but we were. You know, and I mean, I like the education. I appreciate that, you know, but, you know, and I appreciate that I finally had a priest who was in the Catholic Church who actually was on the Bible and everything. Of course, you know, they ended up kicking him out of the Catholic Church, excommunicated him and everything. But when they excommunicated him, he took a quarter of the African American Catholics in Washington, D.C. with him. Says something about that, you know, but I never understood. That's what I'm saying. The Bible talks about slavery specifically because of a specific things, and slavery was usually a punishment. Like when the Israelites went into slavery, they were being punished. It was because of disobedience on their parts. After Egypt, that was more, they were starting to overtake the nation. And it was many generations after Joseph and the kings that loved him. And that was what the problem was with them in Egypt. You know, that's what people need to understand, you know, that the original Israelites were a wandering people. They wandered and God gave them a land. They were in that land. And then, you know, Roman and Greek and all of that stuff came in. That was already coming into that land at the time of Yeshua. And which is why they thought he was coming to save them from this earthly stuff. They had no idea it was about their spiritual man. They still don't. They still looking for an earthly Messiah. But that's these people who are trying to convince everybody that they are the biblical Jews. But, you know, I digress. but y'all got me into a deep one on tonight. I didn't think we was going to go there. But I love it because you know what? That just tells me that we're gonna have some exciting conversations in the new year. But I am gonna get off of here because y'all can't hear it, but I can, and it's starting to get loud where I am. So I'm gonna get off of here because we're gonna turn off the lights in my house, and we're gonna go to chill mode over here, and we are gonna bring in the new year very quietly here on the west side, y'all. But I thank you guys. Thank you so much, T-Talks. I'm definitely going to be checking you out in the next 24 hours. So I will be leaving you a little comment. All righty. But I definitely thank you guys for coming through tonight. I will be on tomorrow at some point. And I pray that everyone has a peaceful and safe night. And I will see you guys again tomorrow for me when it is officially 2020 in California. So until then, guys, I'm going to offer you guys peace and blessings from the west side. Bye, everybody, and happy New Year. It's 2020, y'all. Bye.